Hey y'all, so a little bit ago I did an unboxing and first impressions review of the Diplomat Magnum Demo Orange, and in that review, if you saw it, I was having some weird nib issues with it. This was not writing like you would hope a pen to write right out of the box. I've been playing around with it since then and I think I figured it out. So I want to show you how to fix that if you run into that situation with this pen or another pen. I've had other pens from other manufacturers that have also been a little finicky at first. So it's not necessarily a bad thing about this pen. I probably just had some bad luck in the one I got. So I want to show you what I did to fix it, and I also want to give you an update on how I feel about the nib now that it's writing a little bit better. Okie dokie. Let's see if I can find this tester page here that I was using before. There we go. All right, so in my last video, this is kind of the test area for that pen, for this pen. And like I talked about, there were some inconsistencies in how it was writing. Part of it might be that this is a more flexible nib. It's not a flex nib, but it has a little more bounce to it. So it's possible that the weight I was putting on the pen was a little inconsistent and making the line a little bit inconsistent as I wrote. But I also noticed that it was laying down a really sweet, juicy vertical stroke and a really lackluster horizontal stroke. So it was very scratchy and dry going this way and very wet and smooth going this way. And I mentioned that I was going to look at it under my loupe. I actually didn't do that. It looks to be pretty well aligned to me, to the naked eye. And I did the little fingernail test to see if it was catching on my fingernail, and nothing. So I didn't really bother with the loupe, and it feels pretty smooth. It wasn't really grabbing either. So, but what I did is I just kind of I kind of widened the tines a little bit, because sometimes what happens is you'll get a pen and the tines, for whatever reason, are just bent together too much and they don't let ink out the right way. I've had that happen with a few different pens. And so there are ways that you can kind of expand that back out so that you have proper ink flow. You don't want it to be like completely wide open, but you don't want it to be really pushing. You don't want the tines to be pushing against each other super hard either. So there are ways to tune that to make your pen write a little wetter. So that's what I did. I did some research on this a while ago when I was having a problem with a different pen. And I believe it was a video by Jet Pens, talked about putting your finger on top of the nib and then just ever so gently pushing into a flat, hard surface to just flex the tines out just a little bit. I've done that and it works, but I feel like it's a little bit risky. And I think it was a video by Stephen Brown where he had a similar technique that feels a little bit safer to me, and that's what I ended up doing. So I put my thumb on the nib, and then I put the tip of the nib on my other thumbnail and just kind of flexed it in there kind of gently to widen that out. And the reason behind using your thumbnail is that you can kind of gauge the pressure. You can feel the pressure a little bit, so it can help you not overdo it. So that's pretty much all I did. I just did that a couple of times until it felt like it was writing the way I wanted it to write. So I'll do another writing sample here so you can see the difference. Same ink. I've tried a couple of different inks since then, but I put the same ink back in so we have a good comparison here. So let's just do some foxes and dogs really quick so we can see the difference. Okay, so there you go. A couple parts it wrote really wide, and I think that's because I was pushing a little bit, because you can push this nib and it will flex. So I wasn't really intending to do that, but I think these are really more of a difference in pressure. Let me try one more time, see if I can get it to be a little more consistent. Yeah, there you go. Okay, yeah, that looks better. I think this pen might take some practice because of that, because it's just more pressure sensitive. But you can see here, it just looks better than up here. It's putting down a lot more ink. I can still write pretty fine with it. It's not like I changed it from a fine to a medium or bold or anything. I can still go pretty small if I want to. And you can see sometimes like it's still kind of faint, but it just feels like it's better to me. And these cross strokes, you can see here, are much nicer than these up here. Some of these you almost can't see at all because nothing was coming out basically. But now it lays down a pretty good line. It's still not anything crazy. I might keep playing around with it. Let's see if I can get it to write just a little more wet. In fact, let's do it right now. Just flex this out a little bit. Okay, let's try that. Oh yeah, look at that. Getting a lot more ink. That's better. Whoa. Okay, good enough. Yeah, so I think that helped even more. So I have enjoyed writing with this pen. It's a good little pen. I wasn't sure about it at first, but I'm warming up to it. Even the grip section, I mean, it's not a bad grip section. It is narrow. It doesn't scream comfort at me like some pens that I have, like my TWSBI pens. I put my hands on them and I'm just like, oh yeah, this is so nice to hold. This one, I don't really have that feeling, but it's also not uncomfortable to use. I don't feel like I'm fighting the pen to use it like some pens out there. So yeah, a little update on there. But yeah, as far as the writing goes, I think it's good. I think I pretty much fixed it. If I start having those issues again, I'll reach out to Goulet Pens or Diplomat and see what's going on. But for now, I'm satisfied with it. I'm going to keep using it. It's a good pen. If you have any questions, let me know. Thanks. Bye.